Hi, I'm Matt from HockeyReviews.ca, and this is a review of the Adidas Authentic Climate Light hockey jerseys. So I did a bunch of videos in the past with comparing the actual Reebok Edge Authentic jerseys to the Reebok Replica jerseys. And then I did a couple of videos showing the original World Cup of Hockey Adidas Authentic jerseys compared to the replica jerseys. So now we are kind of into the new age of NHL jerseys after the update. This did take a year to come out, but here we are. So we'll kind of go over these. So first of all, Adidas doesn't make a replica jersey anymore. The only jersey they make is this authentic jersey. Now, what makes this an authentic jersey? I'm not really totally sure. It has a fight strap. It has sewn logos, which is nice. It has sewn shoulder patches, which is nice. But it's definitely not the jersey that they actually wear in the NHL. These ones are made in Indonesia. And I would actually say that these are a step down from the Indonesian Edge jerseys. They're called Indo Edges of the past, which I think I've done some videos on in the past. But anyways, they were kind of not a full price authentic jersey, kind of a step down, not made in Canada. These are a step down from that. These are definitely an improvement compared to the Reebok replica jerseys, and I say that based on their cut, their fit. The materials are slightly better. The big changes are the logos, the shoulder patches, and like kind of smaller details like that are definitely better on this jersey than they were on the replica jersey. I don't think the fight strap really makes a difference because it's not. We'll take a quick look at it here. It's not. It's just like it's added there to be authentic. It's not the real fight strap they use. It's sewn on with in kind of a cheapish manner. And I honestly find these kind of annoying to wear. I always find they always get stuck in my jeans and they kind of go down my pants. So I find them quite annoying. I don't think that makes the jersey better than without having it. I understand why the Authentics have it because there's actually a purpose to it. But for these, it's kind of, I think it's just to get that authentic label, and it's kind of frustrating. The new replica jerseys are the Fanatics breakaway jerseys. I'll have another video on one of those. But for now, we're just kind of going to go over these. Like I said, I do like these more than the old Reebok replica jerseys. The big change to these, and it was kind of interesting because when I did the Reebok replica comparison jerseys, at the very end of the Reebok life cycle, the logos were kind of matching these. So a bunch of the newer teams' logos had sewn on front crests. So all this detailing is pretty good. So you have like your normal, I can't remember what this is called right now, sorry. But it's sewn onto the jersey and not just glued on, and you can see it sewn on because of the detailing down here. So that's nice, and as well, the way that this crest is done, all this detailing sewn into the crest is sewn on separately. And then, because when you look here, you can see it's not coming through the jersey itself. So that's a better way to do jerseys and crests than kind of the cheaper way. A lot of the fake Chinese jerseys are sewn all onto the jersey at once, and it kind of makes everything bunch up, and it's kind of awful. I find that these crests and the way this crest is sewn on definitely feels nicer when you're wearing it. It feels like a crest. It doesn't kind of make the jersey fold in weird ways, I think. By all means, it makes it not fold because it's a crest, but it's much nicer than the alternative, so I'm a big fan of that. You can kind of see it on both. Unfortunately, the Leafs don't have shoulder patches because I would have gotten over that. The old shoulder patches on Reebok replicas were screen printed. So it was kind of a shoulder patch that might have been sewn onto the jersey or might have been just glued onto the jersey, but all the detailing on it was screen printed with no stitching or details. Actually, I can show you. I have one of these and I kind of forgot about it. I have, we have Las Vegas Golden Knights jersey, and so the shoulder patches are sewn onto the jersey, but you can't see because there is double layers, but you can definitely tell that they're sewn on when you look really close, as well as they do have, this is not screen printed on anymore. This will not come off when you wash it. So it is the detail. It's kind of like, it's a different type of how you do cresting and stitching. It's definitely different than the main logo is, and it's definitely different than the older style is where it was much thicker. This one's a more slimmed down version. I don't have an issue with it being slimmed down. I definitely like this version compared to the old ones, and it allows them to have the actual made in Canada ones to be very, very similar to the replica ones, which is always nice. One difference between the new Adidas Authentic jerseys, Authentic jerseys, you can tell which ones are from the first year and which ones are from the second year, like afterwards, for a few ways. One is this weird Adidas locker access patch thing. Adidas did this on a bunch of soccer jerseys in the past. They have these kind of plasticky logos. They took that off on the new ones. The other one is the crest used to change size. So if you went, I think it was a 52 and below or a 50 and below, the crest would get smaller. Whereas now this is a size 46 and the crest is the same as on a size 60. So that's some good changes Adidas made after some criticisms after the first batch. So it's nice to see that they're updating it a bit and making things a little bit nicer. So we'll kind of throw that one off to the side in case we need it for anything else. I did a video on the Toronto St. Pat's jersey, and one of the things I noticed about these jerseys is there's a ton of loose threads everywhere. Now, I don't notice that at all when I look at my authentic jerseys, but you can kind of see it here, loose threads. I find that all over these jerseys, and it's kind of frustrating, to be totally honest. I'm not sure why they do that. Well, okay, I know why, because they're kind of cheap. But I guess it is kind of what it is. I still think these are better than the old Reebok replicas by a little bit. So the jersey I'm wearing now is actually a replica for the OHL. And so these are actually made in Canada replicas. And these ones were one of the better replicas. And I think the NHL should have gone this route. But it does have a screen printed shoulder patch, which is kind of frustrating. But the jersey was always just slightly nicer material than the Reebok ones were for the NHL. Okay, so we're looking at the back of this jersey for a specific reason. One of the things I'm really hesitant to recommend Adidas like the replica jerseys for anyone is, and just let me fold this before it falls over. So one of the things I hesitate to recommend these to anyone is because the customization on them, it can be totally different between jerseys. And I never really trust Adidas or whatever manufacturer it's coming from unless you got it kind of custom done yourself. Then it costs a lot more. I think these jerseys were $280 each. That's ridiculous. I've bought game worn jerseys for like $100 from NHL teams. These are replicas, not made in Canada, not the same jersey worn on the ice, with shoddy customization for like $300 Canadian. I think it's like $288 after everything. Actually, we have the tag, so we'll take a look at what the tag says. So the tag is $249 with plus tax. So that's kind of $249 plus tax on that. So after your taxes in Canada, you're looking at about $280. And that's ridiculous for one of these jerseys. Like, they're way overpriced. These should have been priced the same way as the old Reebok replicas were, which was about $120. You can find them on sale for that. I bought this one for $100 when I got it. I don't really regret it because I have a feeling I will never find a Vegas made in Canada one just because of how big that franchise took off. And it was the first year it came out, so I was happy to grab one. But for this is way too much money for what these are, and it's really, really frustrating. The other thing is the differences in customization, which I was kind of talking about. Now, hopefully this will come off in the video, but I can see when I'm looking at this that these numbers are different just by the crinkleness in them. So you can see how this one's all crinkled. You can see how this one's all flat. Why? These are two different styles of number kits done. Both of these were from the same store. They're both on a wall. I'm assuming, and since they're tagged as Tavares, I'm assuming that these came from Adidas and they didn't so these were gotten from Sport Chek. So I'm assuming that Sport Chek didn't make these themselves and put them out. I'm assuming these came from Adidas, and the difference in of the two is ridiculous. This one itself was harder to find than this one. There was a lot with the material numbers like this. This one's a much nicer number. So also nameplates are totally different, which is also very weird. This one feels like a totally different material and is slightly shinier. This one matches the material on the back, so that's all good. But again, the letters are really cheap compared to this one. This one's kind of a normal, again, I can't remember what this material is called for some reason. It's just going through, I can't remember. But regardless, this one feels really cheap and plasticky. You can kind of hear it compared to this one, where it's actually solid and it doesn't bend and crinkle like this. You can see it kind of like round and folds because of how thin this one is. I complained about the Washington Capitals Winter Classic jerseys in the past because the materials they used, the twill they used for this was so thin and it crinkled. It felt like paper and it was a joke. That's the same material as this, where this one is normal twill and it feels much nicer. The other thing that's really odd about these is how these are actually done. So if we flip this from the inside, this jersey, the numbers are stitched. So all the really crappy sounding numbers are stitched onto the jersey. So do the Authentics have stitched numbers? We go back here and they don't. So the jersey with the nicer kit and the proper like twill, the thick twill that looks much nicer, much thicker, will be more durable, is not stitched. But the jersey that is the really weak material is stitched. Why? These are supposed to be the same jerseys. The other thing that this jersey does not have is the Tavares doesn't have the assistant captain on it when this one does. So it's like, this is coming from Adidas. How are these incorrect like that? That kind of blows my mind and is really frustrating. And from a consumer standpoint, that is a thing. They should be right. Like, you're making mass market stuff. It should be better than what this is. I'm okay with how thin the crests are now because they're kind of using a different material for it, and they're kind of using the jersey material as much as possible. It's not, I don't feel like these crests to be overly cheap. They're okay. They're not bad. The numbers on this jersey though are terrible, so that's a problem to me. But the customization is customization, and it can be done all over the place, and so it's kind of hard to say if it's always good or not. Another thing to look at for this jersey though is how poor the stitching is on the fight strap. Like, you can see the threads kind of coming up already, and it's really uneven. Actually, I'm gonna grab an authentic jersey to show you the differences between how these logos are stitched. So this is the stitching of a replica jersey. So now I will grab an Atlanta Thrashers jersey to show you how it should be done. So this is an Atlanta Thrashers jersey. Now look at the difference on that. How much cleaner this jersey is and the stitching is pretty amazing. This style you can kind of see with the leftover parts all over. It's like almost a paper. Is a cheaper way of, it's basically they put that material there so it doesn't damage the other side of it, and it's a cheaper way of stitching on than what this is. This one is obviously much nicer. Again, this one's made in Canada. I've never seen this stuff on a Canadian made authentic jersey before, so that's where you're kind of also losing out on quality, obviously. And while we're here, we can kind of see how the old how the thickness of the old shoulder patches were, where that is a thicker kind of sewn on material with layers of twill compared to the new ones, which are kind of just one layer with all smaller details. I don't mind, like I said, I don't mind the new ones. It's not that bad. It's just the old Authentics were nicer, but the shoulder patches are whatever. But this is the difference between a real authentic jersey compared to the new ones that are authentic but really are just replica jerseys with a fight strap. So I am being very negative of this video, and I am definitely a jersey stickler, and I'm a snob. You can see with everything in the back and all the jerseys I'm pulling off the wall to do examples of. So I'm kind of an edge case in that sense. There are a few good things Adidas has done with this. I mentioned I like the crest. This customization isn't bad. The fake stitching looks better than not having fake stitching, but this twill is actually pretty nice quality and pretty decent. I like what Adidas did in terms of their shoulder panels and kind of having the airnet here. These by all means aren't as good as the old CCM Coho replicas of way back in the day, Nike replicas, but they're definitely I think they're definitely better than the Reebok ones of the past, but they're more expensive. I like the dimple design on the shoulders. It's very close. It kind of feels really similar to what the actual ones are. Obviously all this material is thinner than the actual jerseys, but it's just giving it a bit of it's nicer detailing than just the normal jerseys. I'll do a review of the Fanatics jersey, which has none of this. It's kind of weird because all the jerseys have this detail, so it's weird that the Fanatics don't. And I do like I said, how the mesh is down here. It's always nice. The other thing I guess is the flat collars. I haven't really worn these to actually wear that much, but I do like the new collar design. I just think it's kind of implemented in a weird way. These laces kind of look like crap in my opinion. They should have done something differently here. And the laces are also this weird like Climalite sweatshirt lace, which is also very different compared to this older style of hockey lace. I think that looks much better, but that's again me nitpicking. I do like how the collars all follow a pattern, which is kind of frustrating, or a template. I think that will change in the future. Some of them look really bad. The Toronto ones look very good, I think, so that's fine with that. But there's some, like the Chicago ones look like a pilgrim, same with Montreal. Those should be changing in the near future. But again, I think that's about it for the review of the Adidas Authentic hockey jersey. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I'm a jersey snob. I don't think these are really up to snuff, especially for the $288 or $250 Canadian for a customized one is way too much for what this is. I paid $100 for this Vegas one. I would, for like certain rare jerseys, I would pay the money for them because they're like kind of a rare style and I kind of like them. I think I have another one back here, but I can't remember. So I would have pulled it out. But like the St. Louis Blues ones I really like, and the Buffalo Sabres Winter Classic, those are nice jerseys that if I can't get a Canadian one, I'll, like $100 isn't bad for a replica just to kind of add to the wall back there. But these should have been priced lower. They're definitely better than the Fanatics one. The quality is definitely better than the old Reebok ones, the Premiers. But it's just too expensive for what they are. So that about sums it up. So again, thank you very much for watching. You can, if you have any questions, comments, or if you want to leave a scathing comment about how I'm a jersey snob, go ahead in the comments. I hate to say this, remember to subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, links are in the description. It helps me get gear and kind of stuff so I can do videos on and keep making content. So yeah, that's about it for this. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check out the St. Pat's jersey, one of these, and the Fanatics jersey review. And take it easy.